What do you remember most about 2023? The Eagles going to the Super Bowl, a part of I-95 collapsing, the many prison escapes, or what about the time when we thought the water was toxic or the smell of smoke lingered in the air for days? Some things we will always remember, others we'd probably rather forget. This is a look back at some of the biggest local stories of 2023. Let's start at the beginning. The fireworks on the waterfront ushering in a new year full of promise, hope, and wonder. From the fire in the sky to the feet in the street, we turn the page to create new memories, but also to revisit old ones. January 13th.
This is a glorious day.
A child for decades known only as the boy in the box finally received a gravestone with his name.
Today we know Joseph Augustus Cerulli lies under that gravestone.
With one chapter closed, another begins. January 17th, Pennsylvania swore in a new governor.
The office of Governor of Pennsylvania.
Josh Shapiro became the Commonwealth's 48th governor, taking over the office from Tom Wolf. January 20th, we lost a local legend. Jerry Blavitt, a DJ whose career dates back to the 50s, died at the age of 82.
The geeter with the heater, the boss with the hot sauce. He was one of my true radio heroes.
January was also the month the Eagles punched their ticket to Super Bowl 57. On the 21st, the Birds beat the Giants 38-7 to win the divisional round. A week later, January 29th, the Eagles took on the 49ers in the NFC Championship game.
We've all dreamt about this.
The dream came true. A 31-7 blowout punched the ticket to the big game.
Man, this place is special. This is a special place, man.
2 weeks later, February 12th.
Oh my God, I'm so high!
The night started out great.
It's been really exciting following this team.
But it ended in disappointment. The Birds lose by 3 to the Chiefs.
We come back next season, fly Eagles fly.
February 18th.
Clear traffic, officer go!
Temple police officer Christopher Fitzgerald was tracking down a lead on a series of carjackings and robberies when he was shot and killed.
Our hearts are broken. We're devastated at the loss of a Temple University police officer.
He was the first Temple officer killed in the line of duty and posthumously promoted to sergeant. 18-year-old Miles Pfeffer was later arrested in Bucks County and charged with murder. He has not yet entered a plea, and his preliminary hearing was delayed. It is now scheduled for January of 2024. On campus, voices got louder against the violence. It eventually led to questions about the leadership of Temple President Jason Wingard.
We are working extremely hard at Temple University to do everything we can to keep our communities safe.
I don't know if the president did all that he could to help with campus safety in the last couple months.
The following month, he resigned. February 21st.
You need to seek shelter immediately.
Severe weather hit our area.
It happened so quick. It was within 2 minutes.
A line of storms tore through New Jersey, setting off a tornado in Mercer County.
The sounds of chainsaws and cranes filled the air today.
The EF2 tornado was only the 5th ever to strike New Jersey in the month of February. March came in like a lion as a former Philadelphia City Council member learned his fate after being convicted of bribery.
It's been a humbling day.
Bobby Heenan was convicted in 2021 and resigned his council seat in 2022. He is currently in prison, serving 3.5 years. March 10th.
This is extremely scary. I mean, you don't think something like this, happens this close to home.
A pedestrian stop in South Jersey turns deadly. A struggle left the suspect dead, and Deptford police officer Bobby Schisler was shot as well. The community poured out support for the 4-year veteran as he battled life-threatening injuries. He succumbed to those injuries 2 months later. March was also the start of a number of school closures in Philadelphia because of asbestos.
It was very upsetting because this asbestos has been in these schools.
Since March, more than a half-dozen buildings in the school district of Philadelphia had to be closed and repaired, sending students and staff to other schools or virtual learning.
This is disinvestment in education that has happened over decades.
Spring officially came on the 20th, but a spring training game on the 23rd dashed some of our high hopes as Reese Hoskins tore his ACL, ending his season before it began.
We all know how much he means to this team, the clubhouse, the camaraderie, you know, just everything that we have. So, I mean, it's definitely heavy.
March 24th.
The building exploded in Palmer's.
Cell phone video shows the immediate aftermath of an explosion.
The R.M. Palmer chocolate factory in West Reading was destroyed by a sudden blast while workers were inside. 7 people died and 10 were injured. The cause was linked to a gas leak. And that same night, our water worries began.
I'm all stocked up. 8 cases and some in the basement.
A latex chemical spilled near Bristol Township.
Chemical manufacturing company Trenzio in Bristol Bucks County released more than 8,000 gallons of a chemical solution into a Delaware River tributary.
It set off 4 days of alerts, testing, and panic buying. No contaminants were found, but city leaders still had to convince Leary residents.
We can all enjoy it to drink, to cook with, to wash with, whatever you want, so I will drink to that.
April showers turned into a shower of severe storms.
All hell broke loose, and the wind started really picking up, and it sounded like a freight train coming through.
April 1st and 2nd, a total of 9 tornadoes touched down across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware.
Basically, the whole front of my house is going to have to be removed and replaced.
The tornado here was one of 7 to hit New Jersey on Saturday.
By the end of the weekend, 1 person died.
Dan Balwell, Delaware's first tornado fatality since 1983, the EF3 tornado that killed him, reportedly the strongest ever to hit Delaware since they've been keeping records.
April 7th, the Fightins came home. The 2022 NLCS champs hosted their first home game of the new season, still relishing a banner year for the team.
Does this ever get old, these fans? No, this is great. I mean, these fans are awesome.
April 11th, Cheltenham. A mother is shot dead in front of her 11-year-old son at a Dunkin' drive-thru.
Police say the killer walked right up to the car and fired multiple shots through her window. 2
people were arrested and charged with Rachel King's murder, and prosecutors say it was a murder-for-hire plot. Lawyers for the suspect argued that prosecutors did not have enough evidence to make the charges hold. The judge set a trial for March of 2024. April 13th. If we had a dime for every time we've seen this, we wouldn't have as many as what was stolen out of a cargo truck parked at Philadelphia Mills.
Check out this scene from Skyforce 10.
A truck carrying $750,000 in dimes was broken into. All told, about 2 million dimes, or $200,000 worth, were stolen. 4 men were later caught and are now facing federal charges. April 24th, reality star Bam Margera, who lives in Chester County, surrendered to face assault charges.
According to police documents, Bam had been kicking the door of his brother's bedroom and left a note for his brother threatening him if he talked to police.
Margera pleaded not guilty to simple assault and making terroristic threats. Well, we're only a third of the way through the year. Next up, a singer takes over South Philly. I-95, well, you probably know what I'm talking about with that. And do you smell something? This is NBC 10's Look Back at 2023.
Celebrate the new year and ring in 2024 in Philadelphia. Grab your family and friends and join NBC 10 for the New Year's Eve fireworks on the waterfront. With 2 shows at 6 p.m. and midnight. Watch the exhilarating display live from Independence Blue Cross River Rink Winterfest, Cherry Street Pier, or Penn's Landing. Or tune in from anywhere at 6 p.m. on NBC 10, your app, or NBC10.com to celebrate the new year. For more information, visit DelawareRiverWaterfront.com.
This may look like a holiday shopping showdown, but it's a Nissan sales event ad. Good thing my Rogue has intelligent all-wheel drive.
So does my Altima.
Now get 1.9% APR financing for 60 months or save up to $2,500 on Rogue. Better hurry. These offers won't be back in stock.
Detect this. Living with HIV
I learned that I can stay undetectable with fewer medicines. That's why I switched to Dovato.
Dovato is a complete HIV treatment for some adults.
No other complete HIV pill uses fewer medicines to help keep you undetectable than Dovato.
Detect this. Most HIV pills contain 3 or 4 medicines. Dovato is as effective with just 2.
If you have hepatitis B, don't stop Dovato without talking to your doctor. Don't take Dovato if you're allergic to its ingredients or taking dofetilide. This can cause serious or life-threatening side effects. If you have a rash or allergic reaction symptoms, stop Dovato and get medical help right away. Serious or life-threatening lactic acid buildup and liver problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have kidney or liver problems, or if you are pregnant, breastfeeding, or considering pregnancy. Dovato may harm an unborn baby. Most common side effects are headache, nausea, diarrhea, trouble sleeping, tiredness, and anxiety.
Detect this. I stay undetectable with fewer medicines. Ask your doctor about switching to Dovato.
Welcome back to NBC 10's A Look Back at 2023. One of the biggest takeaways from the past year is perhaps our prisons were not as secure as we thought.
If everybody followed through and did what they're supposed to do, we wouldn't have this problem.
May 7th. 2 men escaped from the Philadelphia Industrial Correctional Center on State Road. The two cut a hole in the fence and got an 18-hour head start before anyone realized they were gone. Both were later captured.
Clearly the system screwed up.
May 11th.
It ends today. Yes, the celebration.
After 3 years, the CDC declares the COVID emergency is over. And while the virus still exists, exhausted healthcare workers took a moment to breathe a sigh of relief.
I, for sure, could never have imagined a day like this.
May 12th, the concert era.
The stage is set for a Taylor Swift takeover.
And that it was. The Berks County native performed for 3 sold-out nights at the Link. And even fans who didn't have tickets created something new, the Taylorgate.
Describe the outfits I'm seeing. What's going on with everybody's look?
This is more important than your wedding day.
May 14th, the Sixers championship run comes to an end.
If not for the TV sound, it was pretty quiet in here.
A Game 7 loss to the Celtics set off a wave of emotions.
Some teams are just not supposed to win, and this is a team that's not supposed to win.
It also started a wave of changes. 2 days later, Coach Doc Rivers was fired.
He tried, and he didn't succeed.
We lost the Doc and picked up a nurse. Nick Nurse joined the team at the end of the month. The offseason also saw a lot of conversations and battles about a new Sixers arena proposed to be built in Chinatown.
You gotta open the curtain together.
May 16th was primary day in Pennsylvania. Sherelle Parker won the Democratic nomination for Philadelphia's next mayor.
No more will you be anywhere else other than where you should be, and that is at the table.
May 26th, SEPTA banned ski masks and similar facial coverings. The transit agency saying it's a safety measure and to help identify criminals.
No legitimate reason to wear a full head covering in public.
6 months later, Philadelphia City Council passed a ban on ski masks in public places like schools and city buildings. In June, however, it was a good idea to keep that old face covering handy.
So I don't want to inhale all that smoke.
A wave of wildfires ignited in South Jersey. The state's Forest Fire Service responded to more than 1,000 wildfires in 2023, making it the busiest fire season in more than a decade.
We've been real dry here in New Jersey ever since late winter and the springtime.
But it was wildfires in another country that quite literally turned our region red.
You can't see nothing at all.
Smoke from Canadian wildfires made its way south and lingered for days, triggering air quality alerts.
As soon as you inhale, you feel it right here, right in your throat.
June is also graduation season, but a Philly high school grad grabbed headlines not for her dance moves, but what happened after.
You're not getting your diploma because you made the crowd chuckle. It looked like she was going to give it to me, then she took it right back. It was just embarrassing.
The principal at the Philadelphia High School for Girls was later replaced after the video went viral. June 11th.
Oh my God, man. Look at this fire.
A tanker truck carrying 8,500 gallons of gasoline crashed and exploded on the Cottman exit of I-95. The inferno caused the highway above to collapse.
I plan to issue a disaster declaration.
53-year-old Nathaniel Moody died in that crash, and what followed was a rush to repair the road used by upwards of 160,000 vehicles a day.
Our commute has been an extra 20 minutes.
Crews built a temporary road using recycled glass, reopening after just 12 days.
This is what we can do when all levels of government come together to get the job done.
July started with violence in Kingsessing. Monday the 3rd, police rushed to the scene where 5 people were killed. 2 others were injured, including children.
What happened last night in our Kingsessing neighborhood was unimaginably disgusting and horrifying.
But then new information came out that raised questions about whether the mass shooting could have been prevented.
Philadelphia police are now revealing there was a botched 911 dispatch discovered in the course of the investigation.
One of the victims was killed 44 hours before the others were shot, but a 911 call led police to North 56th Street instead of South 56th.
When people are experiencing a moment of terror and they call 911, they need to have confidence that somebody is going to show up.
July 4th, a celebration in the birthplace of America. The Wawa Welcome America festivities capped off with live performances from Ludacris and Demi Lovato.
Always a great time. I'm always down here at Wawa Welcome America, and it's always a great time.
July 7th, we head down the shore. Wildwood experienced a massive power outage during one of the busiest times of the year.
We lost the ice cream, the fruits, there's no AC, it's super hot.
It took more than 24 hours for the power to be fully restored. July 10th, a portion of Route 202 in King of Prussia was closed after a sinkhole opened in the middle of the road. Less than a week after it was repaired and the road reopened, the sinkhole opened again. And yet again in December. July 15th, the bad weather was back.
County dumped a lot of rain so far.
And that led to massive flash flooding, especially in Bucks County.
Very scary.
By the time the water receded, 5 people were dead and 2 children were missing. After a long search, Matilda Shields' body was found along the Delaware River. Her 9-month-old brother Conrad was never found.
All our hearts are broken this evening.
As we turn the page to August, tragedy in Trenton.
Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver died after being admitted to the hospital yesterday for an undisclosed illness.
August 4th, the night of the standing ovation. A social media campaign to get Phillies shortstop Trey Turner out of his slump got everyone on their feet. It sparked a major boost in performance for the rest of the season.
Fans have my back and they're showing up for me.
August 9th, the Made in America Music Festival, a Labor Day weekend tradition along the Ben Franklin Parkway, was suddenly canceled. Organizers said it was due to severe circumstances outside of production control. August 14th, the deadly police shooting of Eddie Irizarry. This was the initial police statement.
A male stepped out of that vehicle with a weapon, with a knife, and the officers gave multiple commands for him to drop the weapon. The male did not. Actually, he lunged at the officers.
But then
it was footage from the officers' body cameras that led Philadelphia police to change their initial story.
The windows was up, the doors was locked, and you shot through the window 6 times, man.
It sent top brass in the department backtracking.
Sometimes I feel like we take 20 steps forward and it just takes one incident. We take, 50 steps backward.
Weeks later, the officer who pulled the trigger, Mark Dial, faced criminal charges.
Murder, voluntary manslaughter, aggravated assault.
First, Dial was held without bail on the charges. Then a judge threw the case out and the DA refiled. The now former Philadelphia officer is awaiting trial.
We want to try and get this case moved to a place where Mark could get a fair trial.
In August, we also saw the media Little League team head to the Little League World Series.
That it's something that they'll have for the rest of their lives. They'll be able to talk about and enjoy.
They didn't win the championship, but they were champions back home.
This was a great run for these guys. They did a great job.
Then on August 31st, the month ended with a massive manhunt.
He could be in the woods anywhere.
We'll catch up on the prison escape that captivated the nation, plus an influencer named Meatball captivates social media, and an attack on a car and its driver is captured on video. We're wrapping up 2023 in just a moment.
Want to have fun in the snow? Come to the Pocono Mountains! Woo!
Hi, welcome to Toyotathon.
Thanks. Now that the holidays are over, I'm getting a Camry.
And we're getting a RAV4 hybrid.
And I'm getting a Tundra.
Oh, and you're getting a belly rub.
And I'm getting a truck.
Toyota has 20 models to choose from with available all-wheel or four-wheel drive. Shop online and get your new Toyota from your nearest Toyota dealer.
Come in today, but you're already here.
Toyota, let's go places.
What you doing? Honestly, I don't know. I just want a good one. That's the thing about Giant. They're all good ones. Our produce team checks and double checks all day to make sure. And then we're trained to pick the freshest for you.
Fresh training. Well, that makes way more sense than this.
Next time, we'll pick for you. Then you pick up.
Deal.
Save this week on red seedless grapes. $1.47 per pound with digital coupon.
Oh, hey, Uncle Whiskey. Great having everyone together for the holidays this year.
Oh, so great. Yeah, a little toasty in here, though.
Oh, look, is that Grandma with her famous fruitcake?
Nope, that's her purse.
Whoopsie.
I'm gonna check out the game. Save me some stuff.
Oh, I hope I get a good spot next to the turkey.
We're all excited to celebrate happier holidays together this year. Make sure you're ready with help from Fine Wine and Good Spirits. Shop in stores or 24/7 at FWGS.com. Please enjoy responsibly.
I really like doing things my own way.
Reach gives you the fluidity to do work from home, at the park.
They personalized my curriculum so that it would fit my needs. Reach helped me find out who I am.
Welcome back to our look at some of the biggest stories in the Delaware Valley in 2023. One of the biggest, without a doubt, will be hard to escape our memory.
He's a bad guy. He needs to be in custody, and we're determined to capture him.
Danilo Cavalcante, a convicted murderer, crab-walked his way out of Chester County Prison, setting off a manhunt through deep woods and neighborhoods.
I don't understand how they have not caught him yet.
Got a gun next to my bed.
The search captured national headlines.
In Pennsylvania tonight, the frantic search for a convicted killer that is now on the loose.
For 2 weeks, Cavalcante eluded police, crawling through tunnels, stealing a van, showing up on surveillance video, and living off of watermelons before a search dog named Yoda found him in South Coventry Township. September 5th, Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw announced her resignation.
A police commissioner cannot stop a person from shooting a gun.
In 3 years as Philly's top cop, dealing with the pandemic, riots, looting, and record homicide numbers, she took on a heap of criticism.
I just want somebody that can get it done.
But she also picked up praise along the way. Mayor Jim Kenney said he'd hire her again.
It was hard. And yeah, I think she did a tremendous job.
September 19th, Temple's acting president, Joanne Epps, suddenly died while attending a memorial on campus. The 72-year-old spent nearly 4 decades at the university, holding the office of acting president for less than 6 months following the resignation of Jason Wingard. September 22nd.
Senator Bob Menendez says he's not going anywhere, despite several lawmakers calling for him to resign.
Menendez and his wife were indicted on corruption charges that they used the senator's influence to collect bribes. Both pleaded not guilty. He has denied all of the allegations and remains in office. September 26th, the first of 2 nights of looting in Philadelphia.
I've been saving for about 3 years to get this open, to get here, and now this happened.
More than 50 people were arrested, including one who was live streaming on social media.
Oh shoot, everybody throwing free iPhones!
The woman, who goes by the name Meatball, spoke with NBC 10 after she was released from jail.
Do you have a message for people?
I just prefer, never loot again, stay out of trouble, and never go to jail.
October was red yet again.
Red October, go Phillies!
The Fightins were ready for redemption in the second consecutive trip to the postseason.
I want to go out and do good and try to give the team the best chance to win.
They massacred the Marlins, bashed the Braves, and punched their ticket to the NLCS yet again.
The Phillies have clinched a spot in the next round of the playoffs.
The fans were riding high.
It was electric. The bank is electric.
And a great start against the Diamondbacks got dicey, but there was hope.
Now they are coming home up 3-2 and a chance to close out the Diamondbacks.
2 chances to head to the World Series, and we know how this one ended.
The Red October sign should now say Red October.
Up 3-2, back at home, all this talk of home field advantage. They choked.
Maybe next season. Rewinding back to October 1st, this video of an attack in Center City went viral. 26-year-old Cody Heron was arrested and faces a list of charges, including aggravated assault. His attorney wanted bail reduced, but the judge instead raised it to $4 million. October 12th.
It's difficult to express in words the pain and sadness caused by a loss like this.
Philadelphia police officers Richard Mendez and Raul Ortiz were shot at an airport parking garage trying to stop a car break-in. Officer Mendez was killed. 3 suspects were later arrested for the murder and await trial. October 31st, the end of the James Harden era. After a year and a half with the Sixers and requests to be traded, he was.
I wanted to be here and retire a Sixer, and the front office didn't have that in their future plans.
Harden now plays for the Clippers. Turning to November now, the month started with a big blow to a planned wind farm off of the Jersey Shore.
But now Ørsted, the company set to build these wind farms, is abandoning the project, saying it's a financial decision caused by inflation and supply chain issues.
Ørsted agreed to pay a $300 million forfeiture if it didn't finish the project. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy said he would hold the company accountable. Now we talk about the Eagles, and it was something that happened off the field that got attention on the 5th.
Something like this should never have happened.
George Norcross, a well-known South Jersey businessman and political power broker, says security took down the U.S.-Israel flag he displayed from the sweep.
The flag was a statement following the Hamas attack on Israel a few weeks earlier. The Eagles said any signage hung from a suite is against stadium policy. November 7th, history is made in Philadelphia.
I'm Philly born, I'm Philly bred, and I'll be a Philadelphian till I'm dead.
Democrat Sherelle Parker will become Philadelphia's first female and black female mayor.
My life should be a textbook case study on how you turn pain into power.
November 30th, another prison break in Holmesburg.
Everybody is affected when there is a break in the system.
34-year-old Gino Hagenkotter escaped from the Philadelphia Industrial Correctional Center after asking to use the bathroom. Less than 2 weeks later, he was found dead in a Kensington warehouse. And finally, December.
3, 2, 1.
The NBC 10 morning team lit the tree at Penn's Landing, ringing in the holiday season. But December 5th, one of the landmarks of holiday shopping in the city, was hit with tragedy as 27-year-old security guard Eric Harrison was stabbed to death after stopping a suspect from stealing hats.
All the memories I will never get from my 27-year-old son is all gone.
A suspect was arrested and is currently awaiting his day in court. Also on the 5th, testimony in front of Congress about anti-Semitism on campus drew backlash for the president of the University of Pennsylvania.
It is a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman.
It's a context-dependent decision. That's your testimony today. Calling for the genocide of Jews is depending upon the context.
Despite a video clarifying her remarks, Liz McGill later resigned, along with the chair of the Board of Trustees. December 10th.
Highway 30, we have an appointment. Officer shot. Highway 30, officer down.
2 Philadelphia police officers were shot in the Northeast after responding to gunshots.
It still is a very heavy thing mentally to know that you've been shot in the head, to know that you've been shot in the face. Again, just doing your job.
Both officers were treated and released from the hospital. And that's a wrap on 2023. Count on NBC 10 to bring you the big stories and events of 2024, including the Summer Olympics in Paris and the presidential election. Whether 2023 was a good year for you or maybe not so much, here's hoping the new year brings you and your family health, and happiness. Take care.